Today we face the Hornets and the Throstles. Welcome to Wildlife on FM20. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 41 of my Bristol Rovers FM20 playthrough. My name is James, and on today's episode we have back-to-back tough away fixtures in the Championship. We face top of the table Watford, followed by 6th place West Brom, as we try and keep our position in the playoff. Since you were last with me, we have played around, I think it's 4 games. So in the last episode, we had the Reading 1-1 draw, and then we had the 2-1 away loss in the FA Cup 4th round. We followed that up with probably the craziest match I've had on FM20. This was utterly crazy. I didn't even know where to begin with this one. We were up and down for the entire game. I assumed when we went 3-1 down that would be the end of it. After we managed to bring a goal back, made a couple of tactical tweaks, made a couple of changes, pushed players further forward, as I have done on some of the episodes. This time it worked a treat. And then in 90+5, Janelli stepped up and I shrieked. It was brilliant. I wish I'd been on an episode, although for those wearing headphones, you probably wouldn't have enjoyed it. But it was one of those moments that reminded me why I play Football Manager, because it was such a back and forth match. The tactical changes felt like they actually made a difference. And then to have that final goal. I've experienced goals like that in real life when you're watching matches or you've been at football matches and you get those final goals and they're always glorious, and this one was just as good in digital form as well. However, we couldn't take advantage of that. Following the away win, we lost at home against Notts Forest. This one we didn't even turn up for. It was another one of those. We've had a couple this season, like the Birmingham one. We just didn't turn up. No matter what I tried, they scored fairly early on, and we just had no comeback to it at all. However, we are on a 2-game winning streak. So we had back-to-back home games against QPR and Preston, which will now puts us in 5th place in the league table. We are now 10 points ahead of Huddersfield. Preston and Peterborough, who were pushing on our tails, have now dropped off. We've already beaten Leeds, so that 10 points now looks very comfortable. The Watford match isn't going to be as important, as Watford are 9 points above us, but the West Brom game is going to be of much significance, because as Huddersfield starting to press on the tails of West Brom, if we can separate our gap between 5th and 6th, we further cement ourselves into the playoffs as we go into the last couple of months. Right, alongside that, we also had the end of the transfer window. And wow, was it eventful. So just after the last episode, we brought in a final player of the transfer window. So this is Lloyd Kelly. He is a 24-year-old left back, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Came in for, I believe it was £3.3 million. He's not as good as Korea, who we replaced, but he was all I could get. I spent the entire transfer window scouring every corner I could for a left or right back, and could not find any for love nor money. So he was a little bit of a desperation buy, and he has come in on 30k a week. But I'm hoping that he's going to come good and hopefully earn his transfer fee. We did, though, have a fair bit of change available to spend on him because of what's happened at the back end of the transfer window. Obviously, you know that Korea left, and that's why Lloyd Kelly came in. Ollie Clark then got his wish, and he left for 2.7 million, rising to, I believe, 3.5 million with some add-ons and such. He wanted to leave. He'd already said to me that he wanted to go, wanted a new challenge. I felt bad for keeping him around. The last 2 seasons he's barely played. He played 18 games last season, dropped off for this season, hasn't really played. Give him an opportunity to go there, have a fresh start. He's gone there, he's already played a match for them, be it off the bench. But hopefully he's going to be able to see out his career there. And you never know. I don't think he's not got any staff attributes at the moment. We may see try and bring him back if we're around when he looks to retire. Bailey was the next one to go. He was another one that I mentioned might go. I think we'd already had this confirmed on the last episode, but he went as well. Bailey went to Watford for £4.5 million, basically his market value. And we've already replaced him, so I was less concerned about that one. Bialis also went. This was a deadline day decision. We'd already brought in, I'm trying to remember now, McCann we'd brought in, and we got Cottrell as well, who can play attacking midfield. So Bialis was becoming a little bit more fringe player. There'd been talks and rumours about media interest, about club interest in him from the media. I thought I'd offer him out, see who wanted him. Hull snapped him up, gave us £2.5 million. Yes, we've made a loss on him, but based on the player we've sold after this, it definitely made up for it. Sadly, I tried as much as I could, but in the end, it was taken out of my hands. Arzani has gone for, I can't remember how much he go. He went for £21.5 million in the end. It was his release clause. As soon as they hit that, the board accepted it automatically, and I had nothing I could do or say. I tried offering him a contract. He wasn't interested. He's had a good season so far this season, or he's had an okay season, and I think it was unsurprising that he had interest. However, he is still on international duty. This man disappeared for the World Cup at the beginning of December. He was back for what felt like 3 days, and then he disappeared off. He was still on international duty when we sold him at the end of January, and we're now a week later, and he is still away on international duty. So they have spent £21.5 million for a player that's never around. So do you know what? They can have him. But I like the left back. I scoured here and there. I scoured every country we could, desperately trying to find a replacement for Arzani, but without overspending or having to fork out obscene wages. The only player that wanted to come in wanted 90 grand a week. We couldn't afford it. We could only get about 70, 75. I was not willing to pay that for one player. Not what felt like a desperation. So because of that, this is the team that's going to be facing Watford in the first match of today's episode. And we do have a couple of injuries still. I believe Lockyer is still recovering from his injury. We've got Phillips, Sharp are still out as well, and a couple of players who aren't quite fit. But this is the team that is going to be facing Watford in today's game. We have Trafford in goal, a back four of Kelly, Kilgore, Long and Stacey, Rolls and Gallagher in central midfield, Barrett, Cottrell and Giannelli are the attacking three, with Clark Harris up front. I did have Smith on the field, but he is knackered after the previous match, so he is on the bench, along with McCann, as I'm sticking with Rolls and Gallagher in central midfield, as they have built up quite a good partnership. I am expecting this to be one of the toughest matches of our season. We are facing an informed Watford, who are top of the table. We are also facing Bailey, who has only been gone a matter of days, but is already facing us in the opposite dugout. But because it's me and I don't know anything else, we are playing attacking in this game. We are going to go all out from the start and hopefully catch Watford on a bad day and see if we can try and somehow get an unlikely result. One thing I have noticed already actually is that Bailey has just gone off injured. I mean, that's £4.5 million there for you. But we've also jumped across Derby. I presume Derby must be losing. We've got a better goal difference on most of the playoff teams, so we've jumped above them. But coming into half-time, and there has not been a single highlight. We've not even had a single shot in that game so far. I mean, I'm going to have to say, let's get aggressive. Go out and show me something else in the second half, because nobody can be happy with not having had a single shot in this half. And we are now 5 minutes in and we still haven't had a shot. Let's ask the guys to show some passion. We might have to make some early changes. I think we're going to have to, because we are playing 6.4s across the board here. Let's move Rolls into the ball in the midfielder. Let's bring on McCann for him. That's a straight swap. Kelly's on a booking. Could bring on Conley for him. Giannelli's also playing poorly as well, and so is Clark Harris, but I don't have anybody to bring on for Clark Harris. Let's bring on Walker on that left-hand side, see what he can do. As per usual, I don't want to make all substitutions at once, but at the very least, we need some form of injection of pace or something. I really want to make another, there we go, make another touchline shout. Let's also go very attacking as well. Come on, we need to at least have a shot in this game. This is where Watford put the punch in. Kelly manages to clear it. Stacey clears the ball completely as well, but only as far as the Watford defender. Watford look to bring it forward again with Ty Moran back out to Azati. Watford passing it around quite nicely. We're not really pressuring them well enough. We're allowing them to play football, play on the ball, play it on the deck. Passing through. Gray is in massive space. Who was that there on that left-hand side? Kelly. Right, Kelly is definitely coming off because that was ridiculous. He was left. He left his man there, and that has probably cost us this game. I know we don't deserve to get anything from this match because we've not even had a single shot yet, but that is awful. Farrell had the ball there into McNair. McNair puts it through. I don't know what he was doing there. Ball watching, I presume he was doing. But let Gray come storming through with the ball and puts Watford 1-0 up. And for all that this was meant to be a difficult match, we have been so poor in this game. Let's drop Clark Harris back there. Let's push Cottrell forward. Can he shoot? We'll give him a try. Put him forward as a shadow striker. Let's push McCann forward as well. Let's start putting a bit of pressure on their back line. Do you know what? Let's do the usual. Let's push everyone forward. Everyone attacking. Everyone pushing forward. See if we can try and salvage something. Let's get a shot in this game. Never mind anything else. Right, Watford have a throw in. Out to Alzat. Nimbe with the ball into the centre. He has just waltzed into the box there. Past Stacey. What is it with our fullbacks? Why are fullbacks not paying attention? It was lucky that he didn't manage to get that properly on target then, because that looked like it was going to be the easiest goal he's ever scored. Ball into the centre. We managed to clear it though. Timon on the volley, but we managed to give it. And we have had a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a shot on target. And we have done nothing else in this game. McCann has the ball here. On the edge of the Watford penalty area. Can we do anything? Stacey, make up for your earlier mistake. But no, he loses the ball. And Watford are now going to come forward. Alzati there, he's probably doing this at spite because I keep saying his name wrong. Into the centre. Cassidy with a shot. But Trafford with a fantastic save down to his right-hand side there. Manages to save it from being 2-0. But Watford do have a corner. Their 6th corner of the game, into the centre. Long manages to clear it. I've just noticed we've had 5 corners and then you've done one shot on target. That is disgraceful. Right, Watford have yet another throw-in. Ball thrown into the centre. To Nyambe, into the centre to Cassidy. I'm not sure if anyone got that at all, but luckily Trafford dives, makes the save, manages to collect the ball. Can we build something though? Trafford to Long. Long hoofs it forward to McCann. McCann out wide to Connolly. Connolly in a little bit of space. He can find Barrett. Barrett with chip cross into the centre. No! Everyone missed it. I'm not sure what happened there. That was definitely not a shot. That was definitely a cross. But Clark Harris missed it. Stacey was nowhere to be seen. Connolly brings the ball forward here to Barrett. Barrett just turns and just hoofs it into the centre, expecting someone to be there. Walker was back here. Clark Harris completely missed it. He left it, obviously, to go into the back of the net. And somehow, Watford have been FM'd in that game. We have managed to get away with a draw. I would be expecting their manager to be absolutely raging. Because we were awful in that game. My assistant manager said that please see what we saw from the team. That is terrible. We had 2 shots on target and one of them was a mistake. I presume Derby have lost in their match. Where's Derby? Yeah, they lost 2-1 to QPR. So that is... What was a terrible game. Not only have we managed to get a point, but we have managed to go above Derby, which puts even more importance now on the West Brom game. Because we are 8 points ahead of them. If we can get a win, that goes to 11 points. And that really does start to secure us not only in 4th place, but the gap between us and Leeds is going to be, I'd like to think it's going to be insurmountable. But based on how we played in that match, I'm not counting anything out. Right, on to the West Brom game. Right, only a couple of days later, but we have the second match of today's episode. West Brom away at the Hawthorns. And frustratingly, injuries have set us back again. Lockyer does make it onto the bench this time, but Rolls drops down as he requires a rest. He's still tired after the last match. And Barrett has also picked up an injury in between the matches. He's going to be out for 8 to 11 days. So Walker comes in for him. Only other change is that Smith has come in for Cottrell. He didn't really play great. In all honesty, he's not played that well since he's come in at all. If I go on to his reports for him, he's never really put in. I mean, he's only played 4 matches for us, but he may need a little bit longer to settle in, but he's not played well so far. So Smith comes in for him. Now he's recovered from being too tired to play in the previous match. So with a couple of changes, we have Trafford in goal. Kelly, Kilgore, Long and Stacey are the same back four. McCann comes in for the tired roles. Gallagher partners him in central midfield. Walker comes in for Barrett. Smith for Cottrell. Giannelli out on that right-hand side. And then Clark Harris up front, because he is the only striker we have left, because we've sold the rest and Phillips is injured. So we'd hope that he is going to be fit enough to see out the rest of time. I'm going to say go out there and give the fans a money's worth. It had absolutely no reaction. They're listening keenly apparently, but hopefully they've internalised that and they put in a better performance today than they did against Watford. Right, Giannelli has a throw in here to Smith. But Smith loses the ball, but only as far as Long. Long collects it, looks to bring it forward again. Gallagher to McCann. McCann, good ball out wide to Giannelli. Chips into the centre. Clark Harris can't find it. To Walker, to Kelly. Kelly chips it back to Giannelli at the back post, but he hits the stanchion. Unfortunately, it goes out for a goal kick. Right, we have dominated possession so far in this game, and on 30 minutes, can we make the possession pay? So Trafford with the ball to Smith. Smith loses it really easy there to Lecco, through to Thorndike, and after all of that, we have had 65% possession. The first shot on target West Brom have in this game, and they just tear through us like a hot knife through butter. Trafford with the ball. Smith, that is the second time in this game he has been has lost possession. Lecco there. Thorndike goes through. Easy as that. They've had their first shot on target of the game, and we are 1-0 down. We have a throw in. Stacey with the ball to Gallagher. Gallagher loses the ball this time, but luckily Long collects it to Stacey, to Gallagher. Can we make something from this? We need to start picking this up if we're going to get anything from this game at all. Giannelli with the ball now. Out wide to Kelly, to Walker. Walker tries to turn his man, but loses the ball there. Lecco manages to win the header as well, and we are there on the counter attack. Kilgore lost his man there, lost the aerial battle. Luckily, Trafford manages to collect it, and we don't go further behind. And at half time, I mean, we let them back into it. We dominated for the first 30 minutes of that game, and we let them back into that first half. And we are the reason why we are behind, not them. I'm going to aggressively say, show me something else in the second half, because that was frustrating in a different way to the Watford game. Because as much as we didn't do anything in the Watford game and probably deserved to be behind, we have done everything in that first half, and we are now the ones behind. And we are letting them back into this game. And West Brom have the ball there. Nothing came from their corner. But Lecco is being allowed to run free into the box. Luckily, his shot has no venom on it at all. And Trafford manages to collect it easily. Right, we are going to be making some early changes yet again. Gallagher has had another poor game. So Rolls is going to come on for him. Gallagher, I'm going to be having a talk with Gallagher after this game, because that is another back-to-back 6.4 rating matches he has had. Smith has also had a poor game as well. Let's make that change again and bring on Cottrell. Exactly the same 2 changes that we made in the previous match. Only this time McCann was already on the field. I might drop Clark Harris back. Maybe that he's not happy in that current position, so I'll drop him back. See if he can try and provide a little bit more support to maybe the guys coming in from the left and right. But this is what I've been saying on the season. This is where it gets so frustrating, that we have had back-to-back wins, and yet on the episodes, maybe they're camera shy. Maybe they don't like playing on an episode. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I should do the rest of the season off camera and then just show you the table at the end of the season. Right, McCann has picked up an injury now as well. So let's bring on Omanonga for him. That's the final change. But let's do the usual. Let's push everyone forward. They seem to work in the last match. Push him forward as well. Push him forward to attack. Time is ticking down. We have done nothing in that game at all. The stats do not say anything about that match because we did nothing. We had no highlights in that second half. We just keeled over in that game and let West Brom steal that game, because that's what they did. They stole that win. And to get aggressive, far from pleased. We are too weak at times, too weak. And I think even if we get into the playoffs, if we carry on playing the way we are there, we are going to get absolutely torn to pieces in the playoffs if we manage to make it there. Honestly, there'll be more positive episodes to come. Please don't leave me alone with this. Right, schedule. When do we want to come back is probably the question. I think it's going to be the Bristol City Charlton match. Hopefully we can pick up some form of form here, because we are so on and off at the moment, so hot and cold, that I do hope we manage to pick up a bit of form, because I cannot face another City loss. 2 in a season would not be made up by the fact that we were in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm going to play Brentford, Hull and Middlesbrough offline. We'll come back for the Bristol City and Charlton match. Charlton are down in 24th place, so worst case scenario is we hopefully should have one win on that episode, which in all honesty we've not actually had for a while, because we've had a draw and a loss today. In the previous match we had another draw and a loss. In the previous episode to that we had a loss and a win, but after extra time. And then prior to that we had the City match. So we have actually had a really poor season, especially on episodes. Luckily we're getting the wins offline, and that's why we're still where we are in the table. But fingers crossed, I'm going to give them a good talking to, and hopefully we'll be able to provide you with a more entertaining episode, which will be out on Friday. I know it would have been tough, but if you did enjoy that, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of brand new FM20 videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday from me right up until FM21. And thank you very much for watching.